Hello, YouTube family, and welcome to another episode of This and That. Yes, it is your boy Rosie, your soon-to-be #1 YouTube host. All right, family, we've gotten quite a few new subscribers recently. So, if you're new to the channel, my name is Roselle Simpson. I started this channel 4 or 5 years ago. It started out with a bunch of basically product reviews and recipes. Reviews and recipes. Those were my things. I've recently moved into camping, and I've also moved into fishing. If you're into fishing and cooking, catch, clean, and cooks, I'm your boy. All right, family. Now, the reason I'm referencing that is, back when I first started, I started out with the Coleman stove. Then I graduated to a second Coleman stove. Then I graduated to a third 2-burner Coleman stove. Then I found the Chard. Really like that one. Then, matter of fact, no, I think I went to the GasOne first. Then I went to the Chard. So this video is about my gas stoves. And you've been seeing that GasOne stove in my Jeep a lot, almost only the GasOne stove in the last recent videos, probably for the last year. So I want to explain myself, talk about some of these stoves in case you're interested in purchasing a camping stove, for whether it be for emergencies or for camping. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to give y'all a detailed review of each one of these camping stoves and why I'm using the GasOne only now. All right, family, stay tuned. All right, family, I know that was a rather lengthy introduction, but I wanted to get everything in there. All right, family, so when I first started this journey, I started out with the Coleman stove. This thing was about 21 bucks at Walmart. They were easily accessible. I went and grabbed me one, and I started, me and Lady Red, we packed a few things in one of those plastic bins, and we started camping and cooking and doing reviews and doing our thing. All right, family, so right here you can see that this stove is 10 inches this way, the long way, and it is 13 inches this way. Now, these are just well-rounded numbers. There might be a 13.2 on the actual literature, but this actually measures out to almost exactly 13 inches wide and 10 inches long, and it's about 4.5 inches tall. This was my original stove. This one right here was my second one. This one now is my sacrificial stove. If you've been around the channel for a while, by that I mean I start my charcoal with it. And if I can find some a video, I'll drop in a little footage right here of how I start my charcoal using this Coleman stove. All right, family, this stove is 7,650 BTUs. BTU is a British thermal unit. A British thermal unit is basically the energy that this produces. Air conditioners are rated with BTUs. Stoves are rated by BTUs. It's basically the energy that it provides, whether it be cold or hot. This stove comes in at about $30 to $35, well above the $20, $21 I originally paid for them at Walmart some 6-7 years ago. All right, family. Next up is the Chard. Now, this was not my next purchase. If I remember correctly, my next purchase was a 2-burner Coleman stove. So let's go ahead and talk about it for a minute. The reason I only used this thing was a couple of months. It took up way too much real estate. This thing is 12 inches by 21 inches. It's actually closed. It's 3.5 inches tall. It's not that tall, maybe 4 inches tall. But when you raise it up, I want to say that thing is 21 inches or so tall. I measured it earlier. I'll drop it in a little footage or a picture in right here. But that is a massive problem when you're dealing with a Jeep or you trying to do some minimal camping. That Coleman 2-burner stove is way too much unless you're planning on using 2 pots at once. This thing supports a 12-inch pot and it supports a 10-inch pot at the same time. These mainly support 10-inch pots, maybe 12-inch pots if you want to get away with that. All right, family, this thing comes in at $55 to $60. So it's quite a little investment if you're only a weekend camper. The positive thing about this Coleman stove, it will get your coffee and your steak cooking rapidly. This thing comes in at a whopping 10,000 BTUs times 2. Each one of the burners produces 10,000 BTUs for a total of 20,000 BTUs. You can almost boil crawfish with this thing. I forget how much. If you got like one of those 20-gallon pots or whatever, I believe this thing would actually get a pot of crawfish, a small pot of crawfish boiling. All right, family. So I think we covered the Coleman double burner stove, 2-burner stove, propane stove, pretty much. All right, next up, we purchased the Chard. And the reason we purchased the Chard was real estate again. When I had my little cabinet built in the back of my Jeep, it was just not quite tall enough to support the Coleman stove. So we found the Chard stove. The Coleman stove, this will not come off, it won't move. It's just a solid built unit. This unit, the Chard, this comes off, flips over, and reduces the total footprint. The height about an inch and about 1.2 inches if my Georgia math is right. That thing is 4.5 inches or so tall with that flipped over in the using position, and it's about 3.3 inches tall in the stowed position. So that's what made that thing so attractive. The other thing that made the Chard so attractive was 8,500 BTUs. Coffee, hot boiling water in about 2 to 3 minutes. That was a win-win. Came in at the same price as the Coleman stove, $30 to $35. The same footprint, extra BTUs, almost 900 more BTUs. Exact same size, inch or so shorter, fit in my freaking chuck box perfectly. All right, fam. Now, we bought this GasOne stove, I believe right after we bought my original Coleman. This may have been like the third stove I bought, but I quickly turned away from it because you had to carry the stove and you had to carry your bottle outside of the stove. In these, you can actually carry the butane in the stove. Just disengage it, boom, like so, or engage it. Well, it's not turned right, but you can engage it or disengage it. Get in there, act right for the people. Well, y'all get the idea. Let's do this one. Let's do the Coleman. You can engage, disengage. Boom, there you go. Cut that out. All right, so you can actually leave the bottle in there, just disengage it, and it's totally harmless. On this one, due to the fact that it is foldable, it is a Decepticon. This one carries a small footprint. The reason I turned away from it was because you had to carry the bottle separately, and I just liked carrying that bottle in that Chard. That Chard just really did it for me, turned me on. Well, when I picked up fishing and I needed some more real estate for my fishing gear in my chuck box, I had to turn back to my GasOne stove. The reason being was I split that drawer in half, and this would fit in the half perfectly, and I could put some of my fishing tackle and a few other things in the other half of my drawer in my chuck box. So that's what made this one attractive. Again, so I turned back to the GasOne, and I've been using it for probably the last year or so, if you've been noticing my videos. Now, some of the particulars. Closed, this thing is only 4 inches wide, 4 inches by 12.5 inches long. Boom. Slightly, much smaller as far as the width, we'll call it, and the length. Boom. I mean, it fit in my Jeep perfectly. The other plus, it's not quite as strong as the Chard, but 8,000 BTUs. You can still get coffee, hot boiling water in 2.5, 3 minutes. So hey, you can wait an extra 30 seconds to a minute to get your hot boiling water. Now, this thing is $50, but that's because it's a transformer. Anything that does tricks is gonna be a little more expensive than things that don't do tricks. Y'all know about tricks. All right, family, let's see if I can do this with one hand. We're gonna open this up. Hold on, let me sit y'all right here so y'all can see this thing in action. If you're new to the channel, you probably hadn't seen this Decepticon before. All right, family, boom. Let's start from the beginning. All right, fold it open, pull these out, boom. Open up, boom. Frying pan, pot, whatever, sits right there. Y'all getting that? Beautiful. Pull y'all back just a little bit. There you go. All right, now, and there you have it, fam. You drop your bottle in, close this back up, and you're cooking, baby. The bottle engages just like the rest, but it doesn't have a knob to engage that bottle. You simply press the bottle in, you'll hear a snap, and boom, you're cooking. All right, fam. So that's what made this one so attractive to me. Like I said, she comes in at a whopping 50 bucks, but due to the fact that it does little tricks like that, boom. And you can almost carry that thing in a backpack. If you're only carrying like your stove, say a couple of little meals, and you just wanted to heat up some water, and you had one of those coffee pots that's collapsible as well, that would almost fit in a backpack. But speaking of backpacks, this is something I picked up early in the game, because y'all know, if you've been around the channel for a while, I love gadgets. And this is an actual camping stove. You'll be seeing this thing back on the channel more often as well. And the reason being is, oftentimes early in the morning, I'm only making coffee. I pull this thing out, unfold it, put the gas in it, fire it up, put my coffee pot on top. So while I'm fishing, I got coffee going. This is a much better option. The only thing I don't like about it is stability. But my little coffee pot fits on top of this thing quite easily. Let me show y'all how that works if you're new to the game. Let's set y'all up here one more time. Boom. All right, fam, you simply just screw this on. Till you feel it get tight. You spread these legs open. Yeah, baby. Boom, and there you have it. And you can actually set a frying pan on that thing. You can actually cook with it. Boom. Can y'all see that? You can actually cook with it, but I just don't like the stability. Like this one, my frying pan that I have in the Jeep does not have a handle on it. I use one of those gripper handles. So I actually cut the handle off of a standard pot, a small one, and it fits on there pretty well. But like on a windy day like today, I would be a bit concerned about having that thing up there on top of that small base. So I basically just use it for my coffee pot. And you will be seeing the Peak 1 camping stove on the channel much, much more. All right, family, so I think we've covered these stoves quite extensively. You know all about them now. If you want to purchase one, you can use this video in order to make your decision, because I think, once again, all the do's and don'ts, you have the current prices. $50 for the GasOne, 55 to 60 bucks for the propane 2-burner Coleman, about $30 to $35 for the Chard with the flip top that reduces the footprint, and your basic old Coleman, $30 to $35, 7,650 BTUs, 8,500 BTUs. All right, family, peace out.